You see how puffy they are? I am tired as hell. Got to bed last night at about 4 a.m. And yeah, I'm here at McDonald's having my morning coffee. Thank you to my Patreon subscribers. Uh, this is what I use the money for is to get me a cup of coffee. But anyways, if any of you guys have questions, please let me just make sure chat, all messages are okay. Um, okay, so anyways, guys, so we made it in about 4 o'clock or actually about 2:30 this morning is when we made it into. We're in Purvis, Mississippi. I thought we were in Alabama, but we're actually in Mississippi. And so I kind of got a little spooked last night. I'll tell you guys, I kind of had a little bit of a scare. So we pull in, and we've been sitting there for about an hour. I stand up to stretch my legs because I'm just doing my thing, and I'm stretching my legs. I don't even hear anybody walking on the gravel. I don't hear radio or anything else like that till all of a sudden a rail worker is right up on me, and next thing I know is I sink right back into my seat as quickly and as quietly as possible. And I hear her on the radio say something. I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, well, hopefully everything's good. Then maybe like 20 minutes later, here comes the sheriffs, and they walk right on by. And I hear them talking about there's like a hit and run, and every swinging dick in the area is out there looking for that. So that was kind of interesting. So I waited until it was quiet enough, because last night what we did is we did a night jump. Okay. We're probably gonna walk up to Hattiesburg, which is about 15 miles from here, and I can catch either Canadian National, Canada Pacific, Kansas City Southern, because apparently they merged, or I can continue on and go to Birmingham. But it would be wiser for me to be able to go to Hattiesburg and then just take Canadian National towards Memphis, because that will put me more towards where I want to be. If I would have made it to Montgomery, I would have been looking at something like BNSF to get me to Memphis, but this might be another way to get to Memphis. And Sam and I are we're playing around, we're having some fun here. And so let me tell you about how her first time was. So we were waiting under a bridge before we jumped on, because I wanted to kind of have the ability to plausible deniability. That's what it is. So I wanted to have plausible deniability. And so we stood under there until probably about 30 minutes before I knew the train was going to leave, because I'd been watching the trains and the schedule and stuff like that. So I knew what time the train was going to come. We showed up at dark. About 4 hours later, we're on a train, which was really, really good. And, so the train pulls up, the train backs up, then the train pulls up again. And, Sam was quiet. She barked once when we were under the bridge, and I put her in her place real quick. It's like, you can't be doing that. You're gonna get us in. You're gonna get us in trouble, and you're gonna end up in the pound, and that's not gonna be nice. So let's not bark. But anyways, with that being said, she walked right on up. I hopped up in there. It took her a minute to get into the hole, because she wanted to stay outside. She wants to be able to see everything. But I got her in the hole, got my bag, got situated, and a couple minutes later we pull off. And she comes out of the hole, and she slept on me. I pet her and all that stuff. So she had a good time. She really liked the train. There was a couple of times that it got really, really loud, to where she I had to cover her ears, because it was hurting my ears. It was that bad. I can only imagine what it was doing to her. And but the thing is getting off was the hard part. So it's like 2:30 in the morning. She's tired. She's used to sleeping. So what does she do? I toss my bag down. I get down, And then, I go to grab her and she runs back in the hole like, no, I'm going to sleep. We're not moving. I'm not leaving. And I'm like, no. It took me a couple minutes to get her out. And that's going to be my biggest concern moving forward. And I also think that we're not going to be doing night jumps. As much security and anonymity and stuff like that it gives us. But the thing is, she's a prima donna. She is a spoiled puppy. You guys may think that I'm rough on her, but when nobody else is looking, that's usually when her and I have our good time, which lately has been quite a lot. So, morning, Rugsy. I'm gonna answer your questions in a minute, Ironwood. I wanted to finish my story. So yeah, we got out, we trounced through the woods. We camped right next to the tracks last night. It was that bad. I mean, I was so tired. I'm still tired. I woke up with the light because I'm used to, like, in the hiking world, you go to bed when it's dark and you wake up when it's light. But with those sheriffs walking by, I ditched some of my paraphernalia, and luckily I got rid of everything else that I had, and so. I left that behind, and I ended up leaving a water bottle behind as well. So somebody's going to find a nice 1.5 liter water bottle when they get on that train, because it looks like that car has had other people in there. There was a little bit of trash in there and stuff like that. So where do I want to be after Tennessee, Summer State? No, this is part of our trek to, instead of paying for Greyhound, if I can do it using the rails to get to either Albuquerque or get to Denver, then we're gonna go ahead and take the trail, and we're gonna start the next chapter of hey Stephen, we're gonna do the last chapter, or excuse me, not the last chapter, but the next chapter of our journey. So at first it was just getting reacclimated to getting homeless, and then it was getting trail and kind of getting some of those survival things done, because it's important that you're prepared when you go out to do what this next stage is, which we're going to be trying to live off grid, which means that we're going to be planting roaming gardens. We're going to be switching between camps, and we're kind of gonna try and stay near water sources and stuff like that. That's part of the reason why we want to go to the Rockies. So, that is something that, that we're going to try and do. But as far as where are we going after Tennessee, I think from Memphis, we can either go to Kansas City, and then we could either hit Denver or, go south down to Albuquerque, or we can start kind of, once we get to Memphis, because I want to get around Texas. I don't want to go through Texas. A lot of you guys like Texas. I don't. The biggest mistake I ever made was moving my business to Texas, just because of the industry that I was in and stuff like that. So most dogs like the movement and smells that come with this. Yes, it's not really the movement that she likes, but she did definitely like the smells and being able to see it. I mean, just imagine this, like, open up the hatchback of your car and then let your dog, just sit there on the edge and smell it. I mean, they get to smell everything after the fact, but they get to smell and see everything. So, it is what it is. So, the other thing that Sam and I are I wanted to give you guys an update. I want to invite you guys over to Patreon, and also if you guys want to help me with my trip, I would say I could use a tip in my tip jar just to kind of offset some of the costs. I've got, my food stamps went quick this month. I mean, they gave me $180 and I'm out of them in less than 2 weeks, which is weird. But when you're living this lifestyle, you kind of got to buy prepared food, and you can't carry a lot of food around with you. If I was housed up, $180 would have lasted me the whole month, and I probably would have had money left over. But for some weird reason, being out here, I mean, $300, I will go through it in about the same amount of time. And the thing is, I'm not splurging. I'm not buying anything extra. I will buy, like little packs of jerky for Sam every once in a while, so that I got some treats to give her, because I want to make sure that she gets, what's it called? Sorry guys, I'm tired. My brain isn't working very well, but I want to make sure she gets her proteins and that she gets her meat and stuff like that, because in the dog food, it's dead food, so there's not as much nutrients as there is in like the food that I give her, table scraps. So, but the thing is I make sure, I've been really trying to make sure to make it last, and it seems like the harder I try, the worse it gets. So Cascade Mountains would be better for this. I'm originally from Oregon, man, and I don't want to go back to Oregon. There's a reason why I left Oregon. I mean, yeah, I hated Texas, but Oregon's crazier. Oregon is much crazier. There's too much stupid stuff going on. I'll put it at that. So there's a lot of stupid things that are happening in Oregon. I don't want to be a part of it. I saw a comment. I think it was Rugsy that left the comment about the state of Florida just passing a law stating that they need to start creating homeless camps if they're not going to do shelters and stuff like that. Yes, don't forget to hit the like button. So I told you this months ago. So one of my friends happens to be a core member of the FIGU group, which is part of Billy Meyer, and so like stuff that doesn't really get disseminated out but stays internal. I had an opportunity to have some of that information passed along to me, more for my own protection than for anything else. So a bill. So yeah, they're gonna charge the people. So, but the thing is we about six months ago I started talking about this. I started talking about this in right before Thanksgiving, because this is when I was warned about it. So now we're gonna start seeing a lot of homeless camps start popping up. Now, they're not going to be like what we're used to. Like, okay, back in 2008, when the economy crashed, there were a lot of homeless camps, but they called them dignity villages. They were fenced in. They had some sort of police oversight. People were able to go in there, but you still had to apply. You still had to go through and jump through the hoops. And if they liked you, then you could get in there. But if they don't like you, if you ain't got this going on for you, all this other stuff, they just used it as another tool for to be able to dictate to you how to live your life. Well, that's all good and everything. But now what they're doing is they're calling it a health emergency, which now means that they can put you in FEMA camps, because FEMA is probably going to be the one that really steps up and does something about this, because that's their job. Like when hurricanes and natural disasters come in, who is it that comes to the rescue? It's FEMA that comes to the rescue. And so that means that you might see a lot of camps, popping up. Now, let's see. Okay, yes, and Rugsy. So one of the things that he made mention in the message that you sent me, and also in the comment, is that this is what the Nazis did, and you're right. Meyer's probably been telling us probably for the last 5 years or more that the United States has been Nazified. I mean, so when Vladimir Putin says we're trying to denazify Ukraine and we're trying to we want to end the whole Nazi thing. I mean, most people sit there and laugh at it and go, ho, 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 we're not Hitler. Well, it wasn't Hitler. Hitler was just the tool in charge. It has to do with ideology, your come from, the way that you think as an individual, and that ideology is still alive and well. It is more alive and well than racism is in this country, and I think that they hide behind racism. But I don't want to get talking too much on that, just because my brain is not able to form coherent sentences the way I'd like to. So, but okay, so I've lived in all of them in all seasons. Okay. FEMA telling hospitals for MCI mass casualty incidents. Um, you know, so there was something about a year, maybe 2 years ago, that I was reading from the Meyer camp. He calls it the Great Dying. Now, I don't really know what he was talking about, because he usually tells us way in advance before it actually happens, and by the time it's actually happening, you're like, oh crap, that's what he was talking about. So yes, I'm in McDonald's right now. I'm having my McCafe coffee. Mm. So, but as far as the great death or the great dying, this may be part of it. We've actually lost a lot more than they said we've lost, even for the pandemic, because they're not keeping track of the numbers, and it's really hard to monitor everything. So, we are also worried about, because another reason why we would be preparing for mass casualty incidents would also be because of the fifth generation warfare attacks that we are starting to deal with. The AT&T was just the one that made the headlines, but it's happening every day, especially if you listen to that sheriff. Yes, and I did not come in here with the intent, and so I'm saying this more for YouTube than for you guys, because they'll try and copyright me on this. The music is as low as possible. I can't drown it out. This is a public place, so I did not. This was not intended to be used as my background. Just happens to be where I'm at. So, do you know where the Bob Marshall Wilderness Complex? No, I do not. I'm not even aware of that. You might want to tell me a little bit of it, and if it. So I live in it, fall and winters without a cabin. Mesnar for the homeless. I don't know what that is. So yes, this is live, JD. So that's crappy how YouTube censors over background music. Well, yes and no, because you got to realize this is what we're fighting the Chinese over, which is copyright law. They keep taking our stuff, our intellectual property, and using it for their own profit and gain. Music makes a big difference in whether or not you're able to get a lot of viewers and followers. I mean, when I first started editing for YouTube, having background music was a big thing. It's not as big as it used to be, but your background music, it sets the tone, sets the mood, and a lot of other things there. So, with that being said, it may be crappy in the sense that there's the nuances and the one-offs, but this is to protect intellectual property. If you have an idea, you should be paid for it and not have somebody take it from you and capitalize on it. I mean, there's things that I've done in life where I don't like that, and I wouldn't want it done to me, so why would I do it to someone else? But there are people out there, and this is another thing, is like, people will take other people's content, repost it as theirs, and then monetize it, and YouTube has to go against that as well. It must be hard to travel the way you do when you get wake and bake every day. You know what? I haven't had a wake and bake today, and no, I don't get a wake and bake all the time. It's kind of rare because of it's rare to get a wake and bake, but yeah, usually I wait until I'm awake, and I'm there's a lot of good things going before I do my wake and bake. But the hardest part of traveling is just sleep and finding a place to camp in. So okay, I'm homeless as well, scraping by in Philly. I hear Philly is really. I've seen some videos that have come out of there. Is it as bad as those videos are saying, or is that just a small part of town? How bad is it really there? Okay, Japanese internment camp, Manzanar, California. Okay, so Tuck, I know all very well. I have logged the Rockies, Cascades, Olympics, and Appalachian. Well, send me an email, and we can talk about good places to go, since you are, and I will work with my navigator. So my navigator, he's gonna he's going to help me make the final decision, but whatever information you can share to make my life easier as far as where to go, where the best places are and stuff like that, that's important. For a movie, I wanted to head to the mall. I haven't seen, I stopped watching movies in movie theaters probably about 5 years ago because they're so predictable. I've seen so many movies. I'm a movie junkie. And it's like, it's very rare that you actually have something that stands out. Yes, so, okay, yeah, the fentanyl problem. All right, so I want to say something about the Japanese internment camps. So a lot of you may go, well, yeah, they did that to the Japanese. That's the Japanese. But a lot of you guys don't realize the long-term ramifications of what really happened. No, I have not been to Ireland, but I would love to go. I'm like half Irish. So half Irish, quarter Scots, and then the last quarter I'm a French mutt, which is kind of disappointing. But let's talk about how they did the Japanese internment camps. So let's go back to the 14th Amendment. Okay, so when the 14th Amendment was passed, what it did is it created a new citizenship, because up until that point in time, you were a citizen of your state, and by default, you were a citizen of the United States by association. The states actually handled immigration. It was not done on the federal side till I think it wasn't done till like post World War I or II, when the feds took that over. But that's just the way it was. So first of all, you're a federal citizen. And the Interstate Commerce Act of 1887, amended in 1940 to include U.S. citizens as carriers of commerce, this is what allows them to regulate you and to tax you. This is actually why you have to pay taxes. It has nothing to do with the 16th Amendment. It has to do with the Interstate Commerce Act of 1887, amended in 1940 to include U.S. citizens as carriers of commerce. You are, because even that cell phone you got in your pocket, whatever it is that you have that has value, that you're carrying commerce, and so that's how they're able to regulate you. But also in 1940, they also took the 1917 Trading with the Enemies Act. So the Trading with the Enemies Act was done during World War I, and then they amended it in 1940 to include U.S. citizens, which is where Title 18 comes from. Essentially, the federal government looks at all U.S. citizens as enemy combatants until proven otherwise. And so that's why they're able to do the things that they're able to do to you. So these Japanese, they were U.S. citizens because they immigrated here, and because they were looked at as enemy combatants, because it was a specific country, a specific heritage. This is actually how they were able to legally put the Japanese in the internment camps, and Congress did this without even thinking about it. So now all that stuff is still there, and that groundwork is still there. So that means that now they can just turn it on another group of people. Instead of the Japanese, we could do the homeless, we could do the migrants, we could do this, we could do that. Anybody that disagrees with me, we can put them in a camp, because you are now considered an enemy combatant. Okay, and you have been. That's why I tell everybody: the moment you open your eyes in the morning, you've already committed at least one felony and 2 misdemeanors. And being an enemy combatant is a felony. So this is what I try and explain to people, but they think I'm crazy. But now I'm not looking so crazy. So okay, it's a place to sleep. Yeah, I don't know. I never really have trouble finding places to sleep or not get bothered with the rare exception. Have you been to Ireland? Okay, Viking DNA, Scandinavia. No, but my buddy Paul, he is Viking. Fetty has killed my home, though. Yes, a lot of us, our homes are not what they used to be. That's why I left Oregon. That was my home, and the crazy Californians destroyed it. You see a California, kick them out of your state. They may mean well, but they bring too much baggage with them, and it's indoctrination into ideology, which is why no matter where they move, they're like cancer. Okay, Rockies are very dry. East side more so. Everything is very hungry and powerful. Hard farming, good hunting, but you need money to hunt there. Well, I'm doing well with YouTube, so I guess I could pay for permits if I need them. Appalachian Mountains are very good for hunting and farming. Yeah, I was supposed to do the Appalachian Trail last year, but I got sick, and yeah, I really wanted to make it up to the AT. You can afford an apartment in Juarez, Mexico with just YouTube's money if you want it. Yes, but do I really want to go to Mexico? I mean, they have enough problems, and what? Just because it's a cheaper living, does that? I'm still gonna have to grease people's palms. And am I really living cheaper, or am I just living in anarchy? Now, I like anarchy, but I don't like having to grease people's pockets. That's corruption. Okay, you can hunt for free in Appalachian Mountains, very easy. Okay. Hit the like button. Our friend is giving us valuable info right now. Most people never hear. Yes, you're correct. It's funny, the more intelligent you are, the harder you get rocked by systems. That is true. No, okay, so there's a scientist that comes out there. He's been making a case for probably almost a decade now, where he's talking about how the spirit is part of like a Facebook social network in a lot of ways, and so on and so forth. And what was that? He was talking about like what they realized is that the more you see reality for what reality is, the less likely you are to survive. Life becomes harder. When you buy into the illusion that the universe gives you, when you buy into it, then your chances of survival go up. So that's just one thing to think about. Okay, thank you, Kevin. What the tuck? I like that one. That's funny. Thank you. I appreciate it. 3 likes out of 23 people. But you know what? That's fine. Oh, something interesting. So YouTube is making a big old change for to move to the to more of the shorts format, which is the long format like what you see me doing here. So they are giving you extra views. They're pushing your stuff out more just by doing it in the 9:16 format versus the 16:9 format. So this is something to keep in mind when you see creators doing things like this, because I've noticed it. But and I think that this is the reason why Tomcat's channel does so well, is because the algorithm likes the format which he's using. So you're going to start seeing a lot more videos like this just to see how it actually works within the format. If you guys don't like it, tell me. I'll go back to the other way. It doesn't bother me one way or another. And quite frankly, I feel that it focuses too much on me, and you don't get to see a lot of the background stuff. But it is the YouTube algorithm. Okay, so that's just one thing to be thinking about. Cascades of water, no snakes, and really no grizzlies. They're all I mean, if I went north of Medford. Because I mean, I grew up. I lived in La Pine for many years. I'm sure you know where that's at, because that's right up there in the mountains. We lived outside of La Pine, and my mom owned property in La Pine. So, that's that. So, okay, how's the dog? Sam's fine. She's tired. She's sleeping under the table right now. She is very. She's a prima donna. She is a princess. I didn't realize how much I spoiled her until recently. But she is definitely spoiled, and she's definitely a prima donna. When she's tired, she like screw you, screw the world. When she's cold, same thing. She wants something soft, same thing. She'll bite you if you move her off of something soft when she wants to be on it. That's her personality. So, okay, so very easy to live. Okay, sorry, my fingers are frozen. Well, yeah, what's the temperature up there, JD? Hey, Phrase, nice to see you. Okay, yes, you can catch up. Yeah, in more ways than one, JD. But you know what the thing is she's been outside with me for 3 months. We've been down in the 20s. And so when it's 50 degrees and she's still being a whiny, mopey brat, I mean, come on. At some point, the more, That's not bad. 40s is pretty good. It's in the 50s here in Miss. I didn't realize I was in Mississippi. I thought I was in Alabama. So we're moving west and north and east all at the same time. So, but it's kind of like a little oh, raining with cold. No, that's horrible. So yeah, libraries are good too. If you And the great thing about a library is, and think about this, guys. So you're in colder climates, you're homeless, you're thinking, how do I make some money so I don't have to go out there and I don't have to panhandle? Think about the digital economy. People, and okay, so I don't remember where I was having this conversation, but I was having a conversation. It may have been in my last live stream, and I think that this is very, very important. Is that they're saying that artificial intelligence, yeah, it was during my last live stream. Artificial intelligence is taking over. Everybody's going to want to watch artificial intelligence. People want to watch entertaining things, yes. But the thing is because we're so wrapped up in our phone, we don't get that personal interaction. And because we don't get that personal interaction, we seek to find it in other avenues. And so, a content creator like me is going to become more popular because it's more like a group of friends. Like I keep saying, this is Cheers, where everybody knows your name. You guys show up, we're friends, we chat, you ask questions, I answer, we smoke and joke, we do our thing back and forth and stuff like that. But people are wanting the real interaction as much as possible. So, it is what it is. Okay, Sam is tuckered out. She's not really tuckered out. She stays up all night, and she was up most of the night with me. Like when we got to that point where we stopped here in town, she was snoring so loud I had to keep waking her up because she's like, I was like, dude, you're gonna bring attention. Shut up. Could I survive the Ireland's? I probably could, because the thing is the resources that I will need will be there in the area. Look at it like this. So you're in Florida, they're not going to give you stuff for cold weather. But you go to somewhere like Cincinnati, they gave us stuff for cold weather. That's where I got the reflective blanket on the tarp. It's where you're at is going to have some of the resources that you need. And what you can't make up in resources as far as clothing and gear, that's why you have places to be able to go inside. Now, if you're out in the woods doing it, and that's a little bit different, but it is doable as long as you have the gear. But the thing is, your gear is going to weigh about 40 to 50% more than your warm weather or your mild weather gear, and so you just got to be prepared to carry that around. So can you survive in Ireland, or could I? Yeah, I could. It's all about tapping into the resources and making sure I have the right gear. Now, I'm staying in warmer climates by choice, and because I'm staying in warmer climates, that's what dictates how I choose my gear. Do not forget about the Olympic Mountains. They're very close to the ocean, and sound might be better than the Cascades. Okay, so that's up near Olympia, Washington. Okay, that's a little too far north for me, but we'll see. I like see a real person. Yes, a lot of people do, because there's so much fakeness going on in the world. Nobody really. I don't know. There's just too much fakeness going on. People want authenticity. And the channels that are authentic, like me, like Tomcat, like Bushcraft and stuff like that, we're going to be the people that we're going to grow while everybody else is falling because they want to stick to, the old ways. One of the things about being young in YouTube is it allows me to adapt. The longer you're in something, the harder it is to adapt, because you reach your pinnacle by doing it a specific way, and then changing that is going to be much harder. Okay, so that was funny. Okay, I think the like button is frozen. I hope not. Okay, so let's see here. Do you know where the Hoh rainforest is in the Olympic Mountains? No. No. You could with your tarp. Okay. I would love to smoke weed, but terrified that I will have Fetty in it. They put it in everything now. The safest thing to do is drink. JD, I'm starting to have the same concern, and it's not necessarily about fentanyl. The thing that The thing that gets me, okay, and this is part of the reason why I wanted out of Pensacola as quickly as I did. So first time I go in there, I'm looking for a dime bag, get a nickel, and it's real stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm happy. So I go back the next time. I say, okay, well, do you have enough for me now? He's like, yeah. He gives me spice, and they call it mojo now, apparently. But that stuff right there, if you smoke it, it will give you heart issues, and I believe also popcorn lung. So you want to be very, very careful. But I go in asking for one thing, got another, and then I go back again. And I'm like, well, I want the real thing. If you ain't got it, da da da. So then it gives me the real thing. I go back the next time, and now I'm getting Delta 8. Okay, so I'm not really worried about fentanyl getting into it. I'm more worried about, because here's the thing: you've got the white dopers that are selling this stuff to you, and they don't care. They're into white dope. Like if it was white dope, they would know it inside and out. But because it's not their thing, they don't know it, and they think, oh, it's green, it's gonna get you what you want. You know, you should be happy. Well, what if all of a sudden I started doing that to your stuff? They don't get it. And so the biggest thing is if you're going to go get something like that, find people that know their product. Okay, you know, you sit back, talk with the guy, like, okay, you know, tell me this, what do you think, da da da, and you'll get to know, you know, who does and who doesn't, because there's always that one guy out there, and you know, like I met a crackhead in New Orleans, but he also liked his weed and he knew where to go get the good stuff. So what'd he do? He went and got me some. He was honest. He did the right thing, so on and so forth. But you know, when it comes to finding stuff, at first I was worried about the fentanyl. I'm more worried about them putting Mojo and Delta 8 out there than anything else, because Delta 8, honestly, it's more expensive than the real thing, and it doesn't really do much unless, you know, you're circumventing some laws, because they take the THCA out. So, but I'm going to leave that alone because I don't want to talk too much. Okay. Minas. Hey, what's up, Slack? I'm glad to see you. You guys are in Savannah again? Okay, well, we may come meet you in Savannah, but we are we're in Mississippi right now, and we're thinking about heading west, not heading east. But Slack, we do need to meet up sometime. I miss you guys, and because of you guys, that's the reason why I was able to find the jump spot that I did. So again, hey, and those of you guys who don't know who Slack the Hobo is, when I jumped from Nashville down to Waycross, him and Fishbone were the ones that helped me. And Slack actually has his own YouTube channel. You should definitely check out Slack the Hobo. You know, he does train videos, because you know, he believes he's like me in the way that I look at homelessness as an option. He looks at train hopping as an option. So yeah, well, okay, so my guy in JD, my guy in Gainesville, the reason why I was having trouble finding him is because apparently he got fentanyl like 2 or 3 times, and like he survived it and all. But the thing is the reason why they're putting it there's 2 ways in which it gets put in there. One is that they're messing with that before they start messing with your product. 1 or 2, you're being targeted. There's a reason why they're doing it. It's not just random. People are not randomly targeted out here. You have to have done something, whether you screwed over a dealer, or you know, you owe some money, or you know, you just do some stupid stuff that are legitimately killing people. Okay. Olympic Mountains, very nice in the summer, but are warmed by the sound. They're very warm in the winter. Okay, I may have to check that out. But the thing is, I wanna avoid going. I want to stay east of Nevada, or excuse me. I want to stay east of the West Coast when it comes to the coastal states. Oregon, California, Washington. They're not good. As far as I'm concerned, it's not good news, and I don't want to go back to Oregon. CBD is the most potent thing in the weed here in Ireland. You know what? CBD actually heightens my anxiety. I tried to get some high CBD once many years ago, and all it did was just it raised my anxiety and actually made me aggressive. So I avoid CBD. Oh, I would love to come drink a beer with you guys, man. Fucking shitty people would lace weed to hook people. It's not fentanyl. If it's getting laced, they're not trying to get you hooked. They're trying to off you. It would be easier for them to put it in your Molly or your meth or your Coke or something like that than it would be for them to put it in your herb. So, weed is legal to buy. And like, no, Slack. That is only Delta 8. The stuff I like is Delta 9. Okay, there's a difference. So Delta 8, they take the THCA out, and the THCA is actually what gives you the effect that I like. Okay, just go to one. Let's hop some trains. Yes, Slack. Let's hop some trains. But I'm wondering if because I'm going west. I don't want to go back east. I just came from the east, and I'm wanting to go west. But if you guys are ever coming in this direction, like, let's see, we could probably meet in Memphis, or we could probably meet, no, I don't know about Kansas City, but we could probably meet in Memphis if you guys want to make it that way. It's probably going to take me at least a week to get there. I got to rehab because I was through too deep for being homeless. It's insane, rough in these places. Okay. Okay. I almost copped a CSX to Waycross, Slack. I was thinking about it. Then I remembered how hard it was for me to get out of Waycross to begin with. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, my hand, see, that's the scar that's left from our night of fun. So it did heal quite properly, but I still have a reminder every time I look at my hand of what happens when I drink a second bottle of rum. Yes, we just hopped out of New Orleans, and the train stopped for too long, and I kind of, if you go back to the beginning of the video, you'll hear me talk about how we almost got caught. So that's why we got off the train, and we're hopping. We're gonna. What do you, and Slack, by the way, with my new phone, I don't have your email, and I don't have Fishbone's phone number anymore. So if you guys want to send me a message, it would be much appreciated. That way I could keep that in contact. The other thing is I could really use some information if you've ridden Canadian National, because that's the one I'm looking at. I want to run. I want to do Canadian National up to Memphis, and then we're either going to Kansas City or we're going southwest. So, definitely check them out. I only have a beer now. I'm really considering going to drinking myself, just because of, at least until I get to a weed legal state. And I can blame Slack and Fishbone for that. I drinking with them, I actually enjoyed it. Out in the streets, people are offing them with fentanyl in Rochester, New York. Pimps, competitor, drug dealers, all kinds. Yep, exactly, Kimmy. Philly is ground zero for. Yes, and I've even seen it in Jacksonville. Okay, firefalls suck. Okay, Ram and Coke is like water. As long as it is Malibu. I love the coconut flavor. Well, I don't know, that cheap shit I bought in Waycross, so that was pretty good. I can't believe I drink that stuff straight. North of the Rockies, they get very rough. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is I'm thinking like somewhere near Pablo, like that general vicinity. It's still going up in the mountains. It's an arid area, but something like that, but close to a water source. It's still going to be warm. It's not going to be super cold. So I am at a McDonald's in Purvey, Mississippi. So coconut is what my friend drinks. Very nice. Yes, I love. See, if I'm gonna sit back and drink, you just buy me a bottle of Malibu and a 2-liter of cherry Coke, and that will be gone by morning. And hopefully, I remember what happened. So, and hopefully, I don't fall into a fire. So that's just one thing. But anyways, guys. All right, I see. I get a lot of love for you guys. I love how we're having so much interaction. I really appreciate it. I look forward to my live streams now more than I did. Uh, I look forward to it now more than I did before. I mean, I've always enjoyed them because I love the interaction. Because you guys ask me questions, it's like I don't think of making content like that. I either think everybody knows it, or it's just not important enough, or I can't make a long enough video for it. But one of the things that I'm going to start working on is, since I have content that's just like it's a real brief explanation, I'm going to start doing some shorts. If you guys see my shorts, I don't know. It's just something to think about. Bourbon. I'm not a bourbon drinker. No. Although I will tell you, I'm not a beer drinker, but with Slack and Fishbone, they got me into ice beer. I love natural ice. Just for some reason, it tastes really good. All right. Would love to see some shorts from. Okay. So I didn't think that this topic would really be able to do shorts, but I'll definitely. But you know what? How do you think That's actually how I found Slack. Was he saw one of my shorts when I got into Nashville? He's like, "Dude, we're in Nashville. Let's hook up." So. Yeah, I shorts are okay. So some of you will like shorts. So here the thing is I'm always going to do the long form content. So when YouTube pays you, you kind of got to think of it from a monetary standpoint. If I get 1,000 views on long form content, I'm making $5. Okay. If I get 1,000 views on a short, I make 10 cents. Okay. I have to get, because the thing is one, it's harder to advertise, but you're getting scrolled through it. So it's like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, all the way through. Okay. And so you don't really make a lot of money. Now, when YouTube starts paying more money for shorts, then I will put a lot more effort into it. But that's part of the reason why I don't put effort into it. Because when I go and I look at my stats, like, yeah, I got 30,000 views, but like 8,000 of them are from my shorts. So what, I made like 80 cents there, whereas I could have made, $40. And so I look at that and it kind of throws a lot of my revenue off. So, okay. Train ride shorts, I will do that. Actually, if for those of you that, well, I don't know if I'm going to put it on Sam's channel or if I'm going to put it on this channel, but we're not going to do night jumping anymore. Last night was the last night jump I'm going to do because getting Sam off of the train was a pain in the ass because she was tired and mopey. If doing it during the day, she's up, she has the energy, she has all that stuff. So I think that when we do hopping, we're just going to do it during the day. Whenever it stops close to dark, and that's just kind of going to be the way we're going to do it. Just going to take it slow and steady. But I'm really looking forward to trying to ride rails all the way to where we're trying to go, to the Great Divide. But we may end up we're never going to give up riding trains, and and I hope to meet more people like Slack and Fishbone and Jake along the way. But it's far and few between. But it is what it is. Okay. How many Irish subscribers do I have? I don't know. There's probably like 2 or 3 of you that I know about. Bro, you look medievalish. Yeah. I'm medieval, all right. All right. Thanks, Natural Human. Much appreciated. Okay. Tuck, do you think I should try a got? What is a got? Okay. A goatee? No, assholes wear goatees. Real men wear beards. So, try a hotel or not. Honestly, hotels are too expensive, in my opinion. I think that the hotels are a waste of money. I mean, when they were like $50, okay, yeah, sure. But if you're gonna go to a hotel, you should be paying for like 2 or 3 days at a time. Otherwise, it's not worth it because you get in there, you don't even really get enough time to relax and to actually enjoy what it is that you're trying to do. And Yeah, that's why I stopped renting hotel rooms. The last hotel room, well, no, my old man rented me and Sam a hotel room when it hit the low 20s because he's like, oh, it's cold. I'm worried about the dog, so on and so forth. And so we got a hotel room for like 3 days. But the thing is I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? We can survive the cold. You should just send me the money. It'd be much easier. I could put it to better use, and Sam and I could probably get a lot more stuff accomplished. But, you know, it is what it is. So, Irish population is so small, I would not think many unless they are Irish Americans. Okay, but everybody in my neighborhood, yeah, that's, I don't know, you can gray man it if you want, but honestly, I will never grow a goatee because those that I see with goatees are usually the biggest dicks in the world. I mean, and I'm not talking about what's between their legs, I'm talking about their personality. So, train... True Ironwood. Okay, 1990 was a great price for. Yes, but that was what, fucking in the 90s. You know, no, wait. In the early 2000s, when I drove to Texas, I paid $25 for a room in the California desert. It was near 29 Palms. So, but that was, God, that was 20 years ago. Maybe longer than 20 years ago, because I was 21 at the time. So. That was something else. But anyways, if I need to meet up with Slack and Fishbone. I need their energy. But I'm always happy to see them. I'm always happy to see all you guys, and those that I see that are regular commenters and always here and stuff like that. One person though that I got to put an APB out on that I have not seen, and I hope he's okay because I know that he was having some health issues. Thomas the Hobo. Do any of you guys know what's going on with him? Is he still posting? I haven't seen any of his videos pop up in my feed in a long time. So. Is in Vegas. It costs super cheap. Well, you know what? You get what you pay for. Even in Dallas, some of the cheaper hotel rooms. I mean, Roach Motels. But I like Roach Motels because that means you can do your own thing, and nobody. I mean, it's not gonna be bad. Donnelly, West Virginia and Montana have large Irish populations in the U.S. So does Well, if you guys, what was that show? Outlander. You guys should watch Outlander, because it kind of shows like the Irish contribution and why the Irish participated so heavily in the American Revolution. Because between the Irish and the Scots, I mean, they really were the game changer for us because they fought the British so many times. They knew what they were doing. They just needed to have a slow resupply, and that's kind of like what 3,000 miles away will do. So any word on homeless that disappeared in... Okay, so I had somebody tell me, hold on. I had somebody tell me that the reason why the homeless are you'll hear about a van pulling up is because a lot of these people are bad people and they have warrants out for them, and they're searching for them, but there's cameras. And the cameras are catching the people, and so they're just pulling up, throwing them in the back, and taking them to jail. So I would really do a little bit more research into the individual before just saying, oh yeah, people are just coming up missing. Now, if it's really happening and you can prove it, send me your documentation. I'll do a video on it because I think it's important that people know, because being homeless, you're more vulnerable than most people. Okay, so. I found a motel. I'm going to do it. Okay. Well, you know what? Sometimes, sitting at a McDonald's, costs you $5 and you stay just as warm. So, would you ever live in Japan countryside if given the opportunity? Yeah, I've seen pictures of Japan. I had a client that went there and spent like 2 weeks there. And now that I know how to shit in the woods, I'm not worried about their toilet. So... That's funny. But it is what it is. Okay, Scottish Irish Tuck, mini Scotch Irish in West Virginia as well. Tough as nails they are. Well, yeah, what do you expect? Look at what the British did. I mean, the British knew had the stomach for an empire. The American people don't, and it's widely known about this as well. So, All right, guys. So it's getting close to the hour. Sam and I have 15 miles to walk to get to our next destination, where we can hop a rail going northwest. Or at least that's what our goal is to go northwest. And from there, I will keep you guys posted whenever I get into a town. So keep an eye on the community tab, okay? Because as you guys saw last night, as soon as I got on the train, I showed my tag. So keep an eye on my community posts. That will tell you when I'm on a train. Because I'll always take a picture of my tag, or at least try to. And then from there, uh, I will, when the next opportunity I get, which is getting into a restaurant or whatever, like McDonald's, I will do a live stream like this. So you may, while I'm doing this hopping, you're probably not going to see a lot of long form content from me, because a lot of my time and energy is being focused on that. Now, what I will be talking about this week on this week's Hobo Tutorials, as far as Patreon goes. So if you're not a Patreon member, you should. It's what supports me. It's what bought me my coffee and my breakfast this morning. But anyways, long story short is that I'm going to be talking about giving you guys some tips on how to be able to find jump spots, because I think here's my overall, and this is why I agree with Slack, is that when it comes to the world, it's crazy. Sometimes you need to get out of Dodge. Walking isn't going to be fast enough. You don't have a car. You don't have enough money for a bus ticket, but you need to get going. You don't have the time to sit there and panhandle up enough money for a bus ticket. So what do? You find the closest train and you run, okay? You hop on it, but you need to know where to find it, how to find it. There are certain things that are uniform, that as long as you find these specific things, you will always find a place to jump. You'd really, like, even Fishbone was telling me this, I can navigate myself around without the crew change. All the crew change does is kind of makes it easier, so I don't have to spend time looking for that one spot. But there are some things. But I'm going to definitely do a video about that for our Monday Hobo tutorial. So be looking forward to that. My Monday and Wednesday videos on Patreon. I will try and be on time, but if circumstances happen, please know that as soon as I get to it, I will or get an opportunity, I will post. Okay, so Hobo Thomas, yes, both the same. He keeps changing his name, and he's got something about his cat and stuff like that. So, yeah, I haven't seen Hobo Thomas in a while. I'm concerned about him, and I've been thinking about him. I was like, I haven't seen him. I hope he's okay. So, because I know that he's having some health issues, and he may be down for the count for whatever reason. But if you are watching Hobo Thomas, I miss you. Say hi. That way I know you're alive and well. But yeah, we're gonna do this. We'll probably, I think it'll take me. Let's see. We get there tonight. Tomorrow's Sunday, Monday. So we'll probably jump Monday or Tuesday. Out of Meridian, I think it's called, or I don't remember the name of the city. My brain's not working. Okay, but we're gonna try and find a spot there to jump, and then go from there. One of the things that Sam and I are going to be trying as well, because somebody was telling me, it's like, oh yeah, with a dog you should be able to hitchhike just fine. Because I was like, well, Florida, I haven't been able to pick up a single ride with the dog. And I was told that Florida is really not that kind when it comes to people with dogs. And that's actually what I am finding, that people are much nicer outside of Florida when it comes to animals, and they're more respectful with your animals outside of Florida. Florida's just a crazy state when it comes to animals. So we might see some stuff. But, okay, I'm going to have to get a sugar mama. What? Well, I've thought about flying a sign. Feral human. Feral human seeks house husband. Can cook, clean, and great in bed. you know, but I don't know. We'll see if that actually one day I might just do something like that to see if I do find a sugar mama. But honestly, I prefer being by me. I don't need a woman. They're too much headache. Now, if I find a woman that isn't a headache, then yeah, most definitely you'll that's one thing. But no, yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm not. I don't want a sugar mama. Not unless she's like peaceful and not crazy, and isn't drama ridden, doesn't have daddy didn't lie to her and tell her she was a princess. So because yeah, anyways, Harry Poppins, I like that name. All right, guys, so I will let you guys go. You guys know how to help the channel. Leave me a tip down in the tip jar. Come over to Patreon, all that other stuff. It's down in the description. Thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing, my the Bitcoin link that I have in there, I'm trying to take it out. I just haven't gotten to a computer to take it out. But please do not donate through the Bitcoin link, because I do not have access to my Bitcoin wallet because I couldn't transfer information over from my old phone. So I'm kind of screwed. That's fine though. Nothing ever got donated there. But if any of you guys were considering that, please don't. I have no access to it. It'll be lost and go up in the metaverse. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.